Greetings, Cyclone hockey fans, and welcome to the 4th episode of the Al Murdoch Show for the 2011-12 season. I'm your host, Kevin Way, battling through voice injuries and all. I'm joined by Cyclone Hockey General Manager and Head Coach, Dr. Alan Murdoch. Coach, any comments before we get the show rolling?
Good to be here. Good to be here. I've been out of town meeting with some alums, doing some fundraising and attending USA hockey meetings, but you know, it's good to be back. I thought I'd better get back before I lose my spot on the show.
Hey, Coach, you never know when Coach McDonald might usurp you. But anyways, we have a great show for you tonight. We'll be talking late. We'll be joined later by Jake Rombach, our Player of the Week. We'll be discussing this upcoming week's games against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. But first, we have an exciting weekend of Cyclone hockey action against the Dallas Ducks to review. All right, Coach. Well, first night, the team won 8-1. Rombach's Lions scored the first 4 goals of the game and tallied another one. So, I guess what was your reaction to the yellow units? And that's total Cyclone hockey lingo. Yellow units, the second line. The yellow units production.
That's the jersey colors they wear in practice. So
Yep.
That's the best way for the old coach to identify them. I thought they performed really well. I knew they had the talent there. The chemistry seemed good, and they really ended up having a great weekend overall.
Absolutely. Well, I guess, and then overall, what would you say were the keys to the team's victories on both night 8-1 and 5-0?
Yeah, I think both nights there was a little more of a hop in their step. I think we were just a step quicker than the Wisconsin Dells Ducks, and you know, at the same time, our shots are getting better, our passing's getting better, good quickness in the shooting as well as the passing, and I think overall we tend to be a pretty physical team and played the body real well in all of our units. So real pleased with the weekend.
Obviously, one of the highlights was freshman goaltender Jared Anderson picked up his first shutout of his Cyclone hockey career, that 5-0 victory. I guess what was your reaction to Jared's feat? And then you know, we have 2 goaltenders now with shutouts, and the other one's only given up 1 goal in both of his starts.
Oh, you bet, man. It makes our job and coaching much easier when you got solid goaltending, and have a couple of goaltenders playing really well is great, and to have 3 is just absolutely outstanding. The better the goaltending is in games and practices, the better our team plays. The better our team plays, it seems, the better these 3 goaltenders all play. So it's a good competitive situation now. No goaltenders really come to the forefront as yet, and we hope they compete that way all season long. We'll take these shutouts and these wins. It's great for our record.
We're obviously pretty early into this season, but as far as you can tell, what sort of potential does this trio of goaltenders have in terms of maybe ranking all time in Cyclone hockey history?
I think this could be one of the better groups. You know, we've had great goaltenders here, and we've had a lot of great goaltenders that played well as backup, but to have 3 goaltenders competing as hard as these guys are competing, you know, that's very unusual, I think, for any program, and we just kind of like it. As a coach, I love it.
And then even the D3 team has at least 4 really good goaltenders that and probably a number of other ACHA D1 schools that'd be on their roster. So it's what a nice problem to have.
Oh, you bet, no question about it. I think these guys, you know, any of them could have been at another school playing really well, but we're excited to have them here
Absolutely.
for the D1 and the D3 program, and you know, they're here for the academics. They're all very good students, and they're also very good students of the game, and I think that combination together is a winning combination.
We've kind of touched on this overall, but what would you say were the keys to both Friday nights and Saturday nights wins?
Yeah, I think the team as a whole is playing well. They're gelling together quite well. We're a young team. We still have 14 rookies in the lineup, and but they're playing like veterans. You know, a lot of guys. It's a big change coming to a place like Iowa State and have to be focused so many hours every day on academics, and then go to the rink every day and practice. But I've been real pleased. They've been working real hard on the ice, off the ice, and in the classroom, and that's the best combination.
Well, now we'll look at some of the results of all 4 lines gelling very well and roll the highlights from this weekend's games. Starting with the goals, there's J.P. Kasak from that yellow unit as we were talking about.
He's got a real great snapshot.
Here's a shot by a certain Player of the Week, and it eventually finds its way to the back of the net.
Rombach. Shot
James
from the point.
Yep.
our guys are crashing the net real well, jumping on rebounds.
Yeah, absolutely. As I was talking with Coach McDonald last week, so many of our goals come from right along the crease, be it from the rebound chances or just crashing the net. It's been definitely what you want to see as a coaching staff, I reckon.
Oh, you bet, you bet. Taking advantage of the opportunities and, you know, reading the opposing team's defense and reading their goaltender and, you know, burying the puck.
That's another fine play. That once again, the yellow unit. And here's one from our...
Jake had a great night Friday night with 3 assists and 1 goal, and then picked up another goal on Saturday.
Yeah, the game winner, in fact, it turned out. As you've seen a couple of goals from our the black unit. They've been putting up great numbers this year.
Yeah, that tends to be a unit that just gets out there and really hustles, and you know, they've been finishing their play, so they've got quite a few goals on the season as well.
Here's one from the top unit. Dave Krabaski skating in, showing his speed. Good job finishing on that one.
You bet. He's got a real good shot and stick handles real well, and has a quick release, so that's good.
And so there's the black unit again. As obviously, quick releases. The quicker you release, the less time the goalie has to see you set up for your shot. So that's the less prepared they are. So that's pretty key.
You bet. You bet. Reading the opposing team and taking advantages of their weaknesses.
And we kind of touched upon this a little bit already, but tell me, we had a number of players that had pretty good weekends. But what was it about Rombach in particular that earned him the recognition as Player of the Week?
Oh, I think second effort was pretty big. You know, he seemed to know where his 2 line mates were, and you know, getting 3 or 4 assists on the weekend was excellent. Chipping in a couple of goals was very good as well. But that kind of quiet defensive style was very good with that unit as well. You know, their ability to back check and kind of cover for each other makes the job of the defenseman and the goaltender much easier.
We probably should take a little bit of time to tell our fans about the team we played this past week in the Dells Ducks, the Minnesota Junior Hockey League, and the score may not reflect it, but they put up a very good effort, and it truly did make the guys work for everything they get. So tell the fans a bit about this team and why it is we scheduled teams from the junior leagues.
Yeah, the Minnesota Junior Hockey League is unique. I think it's one of the better leagues in the country. It's kind of a stepping stone for a lot of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois players. You make the transition from high school hockey, where they might play 18, 20 games, up to playing 45 or 50 games at the junior level. A lot of the guys are 16, 17, 18 years old. A lot of them will have the opportunity to move on up to the North American Hockey League and perhaps even the USHL. So those are the players we want to touch a little bit. We had the opportunity on Saturday to give them a campus tour and talk to them about academic opportunities at a great school like Iowa State. So who knows, down the road in a year or 2 or 3 years, we might see some of these players come back. And they were very impressed, and some of them were ready to apply already on Saturday, you know, for admission to Iowa State. So even though we beat them 2 games, they felt very good about the opportunity. On Friday night especially, I heard several of them talking about, wow, it's great. They got cheerleaders, they got a pep band, they got a great crowd, student fan section. You know, that adds a tremendous amount. That's a trademark of Cyclone hockey success.
Certainly. In the past, the team was able to schedule exhibition games against even teams from the United States Hockey League. Obviously, the USHL's schedule has changed over the years, but is there any chance we could potentially maybe see an exhibition against a USHL team again someday?
Oh, you bet. I'd love to have a scrimmage. Reggie Simon down with the Des Moines Buccaneers. We're so close, and we have played them in the past. We'd love to do the scrimmage. The darn junior leagues, so they're starting their season so much earlier. They're already into tryouts, in August, and that's really too soon for us. We used to be able to, play a lot of the junior teams in early October, and then it moved into the last weekend of September, and then the third weekend of September. Now they're all the way up to last weekend of August, and we just can't start that early, and that's where they work in a lot of their exhibition games. But who knows? A midweek game might be an opportunity for both teams to sharpen up their skills. I know we did that with Waterloo one year, the week before Nationals, and it helped us perform well, and it helped them perform better for their playoffs as well. So who knows what opportunities might come about before the end of the season.
Certainly, that'd be exciting, but as it is, the Cyclone schedule's already exciting enough with a lot of great ACHA opponents. Well, we need to take a quick break. After the break, we'll be joined by, as you mentioned, Cyclone Hockey's Player of the Week, Jake Rombach. And, of course, later on in the show, we'll preview the games this weekend against the Oakland University Golden Grizzlies. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
On up, Jake. Slide over, don't.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Is struggling with hunger. Who's the 1 in 8 in your life? You can help today. Visit feedingamerica.org/1 in 8 to find your local food bank.
All right, welcome back, fans, to the Murdoch Show. I'm your host, Kevin Way. We're now joined by, along with General Manager and Head Coach Al Murdoch, Player of the Week, Jake Rombach. Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be here.
All right. Well, we've talked a bit about with Coach Murdoch about the success of your line this past weekend, but I guess from your view, what's helped you and J.P. Kasak and James Buttermore click so well last weekend and even in general?
We've just been practicing together mainly, just keep working every day and getting to know each other, get to know each other's habits, kind of know where each other are all the time now.
Last season, you had the opportunity to play with James Buttermore, centering your line, but last year, James, he wasn't playing a lot of forward for Winkler last year, so how would you say James has done so far, and if you think he's been doing well, what's been helping him make that transition so well?
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good. He finished the season off as forward last year, and I mean, he's a great guy to play with. He's fast, knows how to move the puck well, makes smart decisions out there.
And you're also you're one of 3 freshmen for us this season that played for the Winkler Flyers, Peter Alexander being the other one. He's a goaltender for us that's doing very well statistically. He's one of the ones with a shutout. I guess what's your assessment of Peter's game, and what's it been like having 2 teammates here with Cyclone Hockey already?
It's nice to play with guys that you've already played with last year. You kind of know each other, helps you fit in with the guys a bit. And he's actually been playing just as good here, stepping his game up to the next level.
And I remember looking at the stats from last season, Peter's save percentage and other numbers in the playoffs were amongst goalies who played like more than a period, the very best in the Manitoba Junior Hockey League in the playoffs. So that's very encouraging. And then the year before that, he was one of the finalists for the Goaltender of the Year for that league. So it's definitely nice to have him here at Cyclone Hockey. I guess with for you, Jake, what have you found have been the biggest adjustments for you coming from the junior game into the collegiate game with Cyclone Hockey?
Mainly you have to focus a lot more on other things besides hockey, as in academics and everything, and you got to still come to the rink every day with that same focus to get better and learn your team.
Any particular things that you feel? Because on the ice, it appears from the broadcasting booth that you've adjusted pretty well. Is there any particular things helping you the most, or is it just nothing in particular?
There's nothing really. It's hard to just trying to fit in with a new group of guys all the time.
I guess, Coach, this might be a good time to ask you a question like this. What have been the after your if your 43rd year, what have you found have been the biggest adjustments for players coming out of the junior ranks into college hockey?
We look for guys that are academically oriented, so we do a pretty thorough background check on the strength of their academics. But some of them in junior hockey have developed the habit of maybe sleeping in a little bit in the mornings and then just going to practice and then watching a lot of TV and playing video games the rest of the day. We look for guys that have had some academic work and good background out of high school and maybe taken some college credit. I think the three that we landed from Winkler, are all very good students, are all very focused on getting degrees, and I think that gives them a bit of an edge over others being able to step right into the program here at Iowa State. That's the biggest adjustment of all. You have to be successful at Iowa State. You better be getting up at 6:37 in the morning, going to class, going early, spending time in the library. It's not unusual for our guys to be at the Student Success Center or at the library, hitting the books. And, the upperclassmen are good examples in that regard. And I know a lot of the guys meet upperclassmen at the library and get in 4 or 5 hours a night.
Back to you, Jake. We're not quite in the heart of the ACHA season yet, or the Central States Collegiate Hockey League season yet, but so far, and it's particularly looking back at the Oklahoma games, what has been your impression of the caliber of play here at Iowa State and the schedule in general?
It's looking really good. It's actually a lot better than I thought it was coming in here. Playing a lot of good teams. I'm excited to play Oakland this weekend. Playing OU, they're a good team, It's just good to see us come with a split when we could have came out 2-0 out of that weekend.
Sure, and obviously Oklahoma, for fans who don't know, Jake's originally he's from the Dallas Metroplex area, and obviously Oklahoma is a school that's much closer to you geographically. So I guess what was it that made you decide to come to Iowa State instead of a place like maybe Oklahoma?
Just the focus they had on academics here. Just a lot more getting your degree, and also same with hockey, help you anytime you need it. And my brother had actually played for OU 2 years ago, so he kind of had the scoop there too and everything. So.
Well, you don't say that as a slam to OU at all. Of course, they're a very, very good school and a very good hockey program too. In fact, it'll be interesting to see how far both of us go later in the season. I wouldn't be surprised if we might meet them later. But I guess you're obviously a ways away from home, north on you have to hook up with I-35 and eventually head on north. But what have been your impressions so far of Iowa State, but then also of the community of Ames?
Oh, I love it here. It's real nice. Not really looking forward to the cold weather though. Not gonna be used to that.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I'm not sure if we'll get more ice storms here than you guys get in Dallas, or at least in Dallas in recent years. But I guess you haven't had to worry about it too much in recent years, having played juniors in various places. I guess with you before playing in Winkler, you played in the North American Hockey League. What was that like? And that was your first year of junior hockey, if I remember right.
Yep, it was. It's a good league. It's they're getting a lot more teams in there now. A lot of good coaches. Get a lot of commits to a lot of Division I schools in the NCAA, and it's just a good league.
A lot more teams are moving in closer to home for you.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi now has a team. Odessa has a team now, and I mean it used to be obviously the Tornado have been there forever, and Wichita Falls. But yes, well it'll be interesting to see how many more teams migrate down there. I guess, Coach, we've heard Jake talk a bit about why he came to Iowa State, but I guess from your mind as one of the primary recruiters for Cyclone Hockey, what are the selling points that you give to recruits like Jake when they're not here yet on the scouting and recruiting trail?
You bet. The biggest thing that I zero right in on is academics. Quite a few recruits when we first meet, and some of them may even have their parents along. They're amazed that I'll talk about academics before I talk about hockey. And, sometimes I'll ask them if they've ever played for a guy with a PhD. I tend to be academically oriented, even though I'm from Manitoba originally. But it was a pretty good recruiting trip. The weekend I saw Winkler play, and to be able to land 3 players from that team, I felt real good about. But it's also the same weekend for the initial interview with our associate coach, Kyle McDonald, also occurred on that same weekend. So I put quite a few miles on the car watching teams. seeing players, and at the same time, it was good to be back home for me, being from Manitoba. So, good opportunity.
Absolutely. It'll be I think it could prove to be an important, perhaps pivotal weekend in the history and future of Cyclone hockey moving forward. So, all right, fans, you have to take one more quick commercial break. After the break, we'll talk a little bit more with Jake about real personal stuff, but get to know him a little bit better. And of course, we'll also preview this weekend's games against Oakland University Golden Grizzlies. So, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you after the break.
Is your money keeping you up at night? You can sleep a lot easier when it's in bank accounts insured by the FDIC. In more than 75 years, no one has ever lost a penny of insured deposits. That's a lot safer than under your mattress. Visit Edie the Estimator at myfdicinsurance.gov. Then you can sleep well.
Green, green, green. It's your home, it's your dream. Radon testing, keep it healthy and clean. Make it green, green, green.
Making it green starts from the ground up, so make sure the air in your home is healthy for your family to breathe. Test your home for the presence of radon. Go to epa.gov/radon.
Make it green, green, green.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Yeah, it is. Put on the suntan lotion.
All right, welcome back, Cyclone fans. We're trying for our final segment, joined once again by, of course, the namesake of the show, General Manager and Head Coach Dr. Alan Murdoch. And again, sent with our Player of the Week, Jake Rombach. Jake, we mentioned in the previous segment that you're from Dallas, and about 3 years after you were born, if I remember your birth date right, a certain NHL team relocated from Minnesota down to the Dallas area. And I won't answer this question for you, but hockey since then has changed significantly. So I guess in your mind, coming from the Dallas area, in what ways and what impact has the presence of the Dallas Stars had in hockey in the Dallas Metroplex?
It's been a lot lately. I think every rink down there now is Dallas Star Center. And back when I was growing up, there was only maybe one AAA team to get on at a midget level, and now they have like squirt AAA teams up all the way up to midgets again, junior teams everywhere. So it's coming along really well.
Definitely, absolutely. Like you mentioned, there's the Jets down there, there's the Oilers, but then there's also the premier one, the Junior Stars, and that's where you played. Tell fans a bit about that level of hockey, Tier 1 midget AAA, and the opportunity you have to develop at that high of level at that age.
It's really good hockey. It's just like Minnesota high school. That's what people do in Minnesota typically, and everywhere else we play AAA. Except playing AAA, we get about 60 games in. As high school, they only get about 20-ish, I believe it is.
Yeah, it kind of depends. If you go real far in your state tournament, you just might get 30.
Yeah.
But
and we get a chance to play for nationals, which my team went to nationals our last year, and we lost in overtime in the championship games. Kind of heartbreaker, but good learning experience.
Yeah, the Dallas Junior Stars have definitely had a lot of good players, yourself included, obviously, but Blake Coleman, I think you may have played with Blake Coleman, Anthony Hamburg. I don't think Matt Donovan was a little bit before you, but definitely hockey's really coming along in the Dallas area. I guess from your standpoint, Coach, or your opinion, how have you seen things change in terms of you at the minor hockey level with the expansion of NHL teams down to the Sun Belt, and how has it affected recruiting for Cyclone hockey?
Oh, I think it's been excellent, and it's really spurred tremendous growth. You know, Gretzky going from Edmonton down to California just caused a great explosion. The same thing in Texas, the same thing in Arizona and the Phoenix area. You know, Florida just absolutely exploding, and then all the minor leagues seem to be locating a lot of teams down in the southern climates too. So it's been very, very good for hockey. Being a director with USA Hockey, representing the college section, you know, I've just seen a lot more people from the southern states in the last 8-10 years than there's ever been before. So it's been good for hockey.
I guess, Jake, going back to you, your last season, I mean, with the junior stars, you were a good player, but you weren't an impact player per se. But and then your first year of juniors, of course, your first year of juniors. But last year, you really took off, and you were one of your team's top scorers in the playoffs. I guess, what really helped you take that next step in your game?
I just kept working hard every day at practice, kept going in, doing extra, getting better, thinking, doing what I need to do to get to the next level, and it just really worked out for me.
Seems like it's paying off for us, at least so far, especially last weekend. I guess long term, Jake, what are your goals, maybe with hockey, but also otherwise after you graduate from Iowa State one day?
I'm actually in a pre-business major right now. Probably going to go to business marketing. And with hockey, I'd like to play at the next level after college, the highest wherever I can go.
And Cyclone Hockey sending a few people on this year. We got one playing in a high level in Austria. We got who knows how many in the Southern Professional League? At least 2, 3. But that's only if one guy doesn't play in the Central League, which is even higher. So definitely the opportunity for you to do that. Well, we are looking forward. Preview a little bit now. This weekend's games against Oakland University, the Golden Grizzlies, ACHA 11th ranked team, men's Division I, if I remember right.
You bet.
I guess historically, what kind of a team has Oakland been, and what do you expect for this weekend?
Oakland University's been to the big dance. About 6 years ago, they won Division II national tournament. Sean Hogan was their coach then. He developed an excellent team. The following year, they moved up to Division I and won the national tournament again. So that gives them that history. They've performed very well. They've got an excellent coaching staff. They recruit very hard. You know, they get a lot of local players from the Michigan area, but they have an excellent team. So it's going to be a great matchup. We're excited about it. You know, having seen them play and having played against them before, we know some of their tendencies. So we're putting a little emphasis on that this week. But Oakland University, I think, even though they're ranked number 11, I think they're one of the top 10 in the country right now. And, of course, they'll be after us. They see that we're ranked at number 9. They know the best way to move up is to play well against us. So we're going to start having a target on our back, I'm afraid, with some of the teams that are coming in the next several weeks in particular. But if I were a student fan out there, if I were one of the young people in school, if I were an adult, I'd sure be getting my tickets early. You know, adults, $10, best bargain in town. Student, $7 to get a ticket. And, you know, $5 for kids 12 and under. And it's a great weekend of entertainment. Friday night at 7:30, Saturday night at 7:30. Call 294-6164. We'll get them at our office, or you can go right to our website, cyclonehockey.com. And, you know, we've got lots of great sponsors, and one of the great sponsors of the TV show here is Pizza Pit. And, man alive, their pizza is so good, I think I can smell them coming in the door right now. Pizza Pit is number 1. And, you know, their staff does such an excellent job.
It's true. And Coach isn't lying. I have a cold, and I actually can smell it. So that's all we have for this week's show. We thank you so much for tuning in. We thank Jake Rombach for joining us. And as Coach mentioned, we have exciting games this weekend against Oakland University at the arena, 7:30 both nights. No reason not to come out and watch Jake and his line mates J.P. Kissack and James Buttermore work their magic. So thanks so much again. We'll see you again next week. See you at the rink. Good night.